Hi book friends, I'm Erin, and this is Erin Go Read. As you may be able to tell by the map here next to me, this is a geography related video. Scott and Nelle over at Gunpowder Fiction Plot started the geography reading tag, and they tagged me in their original video. So thank you very much, Scott and Nelle. So this involves 10 questions related to geography and reading, and kind of looking at how diversely we read. So the first question is, how many countries have you read from? And I will link this in the description box, but they had this really cool website that they were using where you can mark it off and it shows you on a map and everything. So that was pretty fun. So it turned out that I have read from 32 countries, which is not nearly as many as I would have hoped for. Question number 2, do you usually consider the nationality of authors when selecting books? Not really. I do like to read diversely and read from people's worldviews, parts of the world that are unlike me, because I already know what my life experience is and kind of the people in my sphere, and so I want to expand that. So I do value that, but it's not, I don't really go out of my way to make sure I'm reading diversely. Question number 3, after seeing your reading nations mapped, do you think that will change? I absolutely do. I think I will definitely look more closely, make more of an effort to read more broadly, read more diversely. Question number 4, which country were you surprised you didn't have an author from? The number one that I couldn't believe that I hadn't read from was Mexico. How have I not read a book from Mexico? So I think there are authors who are Mexican-American who were born in the States who I've read from, so maybe I thought that that would have been. Also, I come from Mexican heritage myself, and it's possible, I only have like great reading records really for the last 2 years, so it's possible that, there are more countries would be involved that I have read a Mexican author, that it's just not something I've kept track of, but nothing came to mind. And then also Russia. I haven't read anything there. I would have thought that I would have read a Russian author, and I have not. Question number 5, which country were you surprised you had more than one author for? And that was Sweden. I love Fredrik Backman, and I knew that he was Swedish, and so I wasn't surprised that I had one author from Sweden. And then also several years ago, I read some of the Stieg Larsson books. The girl who kicked the hornet's nest, the girl who blah blah blah. Maybe he's the one responsible for those the girl ... books. But the one that surprised me that I didn't know about was Art Spiegelman, the author of the graphic novel Mouse, is also Swedish. So that one was a bit of a surprise. Question number 6, find a book that is set in the author's birth country, and that would be The Night Tiger by Yangtze Chu. Now, Yangtze Chu is from Malaysia. This book is set in Malaya, as it was called under British colonialism at the time, but there we go. Also, this book is on the long list for the BookTube Prize and a great read. Question number 7, find a book that is set in a different country than the author's birthplace. This one was a bit of a surprise for me. The Daughter of the Forest by Juliette Marillier. Juliette Marillier is from New Zealand, but her books, at least this series, takes place in Britain and Ireland. Question number 8, do you have an author who was born somewhere other than where the bulk of their writing was done? And this was also a surprise for me. That is Jane Harper. She's the author. These both are from the Erin Falk series. She also wrote, and I have read, The Lost Man, which was excellent, and it's not part of this series. She's known as an Australian author, and that's all I knew her of, but she was actually born in Manchester, UK. She moved to Australia when she was 8 years old. Another example of that would be Kazuo Ishiguro. He was born in Japan, but moved when he was quite young to the UK as well. Question number 9, I think I wrote this down, kind of weird, but I'm just going to go with it. Are there any trends in the books you choose from culturally different authors' nations to your own nationality? So trends that I have seen that of cultures different from my own that I tend to read from, and that would be Asian. 9 of the 24 non-white authors I read from last year were Asian. And Asian authors made up about half of the non-American or UK or Australia authors that I read from. Question number 10, which country have you read from that you would most like to holiday in or move to? I think I would most like to vacation in New Zealand. It just seems amazing, and it's a place that I would like to go explore. And then a place that I have been to, I have vacationed in, and I think I would like to live would be Ireland. I loved all the little small towns and just so much green space and just greenery in general. Much slower pace of life I really enjoyed. Life just seems so much slower and community-based when I was there, the little bit that I got to experience. And most of the time I was there, I was in small villages in towns, not in the big city. I only spent one night in Dublin, and that was, we arrived in Dublin at like 6 o'clock in the evening, and we had to leave for the airport at like 7 o'clock the next morning. So very little experience in a big city in Ireland, but really great experiences in small towns throughout the country, including Northern Ireland as well. So that's my geography reading tag, and now for who I'm going to tag. And I chose a handful of people who I think might have interesting, more diverse answers than myself, because I know that they read quite diversely or that they are not American. That is Doris from All D Books, Natalie from My Reading Life, Ka Zen from Always Doing, Geraldine Reads, and Claudia at Spinster's Library. You are tagged in the geography reading tag. Thank you for watching. See you around the tubes.